you have been asking us for weeks to make sure that we make the discussions much more practical and realistic. And you've asked us to bring in examples of people who are actually working in the different industries, who have started their own companies and are successful entrepreneurs. Today, I've brought somebody who is in the food industry, Chef Chenge. I've sampled some of her cuisines. Ooh, they're to die for. So,
Thank you.
Chef Chenge, welcome to Pivot Point.
Thank you so much for having me, Rumbi. I'm excited.
Thank you. One of the things that people want to know is, how do I start my personal journey? A lot of people think we have just been talking and saying, you can start with little, you can start with nothing, you can start in a kitchen, Marco. You have walked the journey in the food industry. You are running your enterprise successfully. How have you done it? Maybe just share a little bit on your personal journey.
Okay. The food industry is not as easy as people think, especially nowadays where it's flooded. It's really flooded here in Zim and even worldwide. So the journey has been a bit long. I did graduate in 2010. I studied culinary arts, wine studies, and pastry studies as well.
Okay.
I studied both in here and in South Africa. So I got a feel of,
Of both
of
industries.
both industries, the Zim industry and the South African industry. I've also had a bit of a feel of the Malawian industry as
Oh,
well.
wow.
So after I graduated, I came back here and I started working for someone. But while I was working for someone, I wasn't happy. So I just started my side hustle of doing cakes on the side. And
Side hustle.
that was actually my side hustle. And I remember asking, then when I came back, I was living with my grandmother. And I asked her for $20.
$20.
$20. And
Okay.
she's like, oh, that $20, yeah.
Yay.
I'm like, no, I need to buy some ingredients so I can start seeing if I can, start doing this baking thing on the side. So yes, I literally started in 2011 with $20
Wow.
because I hadn't started receiving my salary yet.
Wow. This, you know what? I have had people talk about, I started my farm with just a haystack. And we're laughing. We're laughing just a few days ago saying, I don't think that's true. But you're saying you started off with $20. Okay, so break it
Yes.
down. How did you work with the $20? You told her that you wanted to buy some
I told her I
inputs.
wanted to buy some ingredients because then I had started working, but I hadn't received my first salary yet. So luckily, of course, she had stove, she had a fridge. So when it came to equipment like that, I didn't need to buy.
You're using what is already there.
I was just using what was there. And because I come from a family of bakers, things like cake tins were already there because my great grandmother actually,
Oh, wow.
she even had a cookbook that she did with some missionaries that came to Zimbabwe.
Wow.
So my family is a bit of a baking family. So I looked at what she had in there. So I literally just needed to buy ingredients so that I could start doing my costing and start from there. So yes, I literally started with
Okay.
$20.
On $20, wakasingi.
No, it was enough for the basics. So
Okay.
that's your flour. My recipes are mainly oil based. So it was my flour, my oil, whatever icing I wanted to use, then your baking powder, your flavorings. So it was just the basics
Oh,
that I
wow.
needed there.
So you moved from $20 and you started to grow the enterprise.
I started to grow it. And
Who were your
remember,
first customers for this 20?
my mom's
What
friends.
did you produce?
It was my mom's friends. My mom, well, by then she was late, but she had a lot of friends that we kept in communication with. And even to this day, I'm still in communication with. So they were my first customers.
What
You
did
know,
you make?
support mwana wedu
What
type
did
of
you
thing.
make, Chef Cheke?
I just started off with cakes and cupcakes. The
Wow.
simplest thing. Oh, and on the $20, it was also enough for packaging as well. So that's your cake board and your box. But after a while, I thought I was gangster like that. So I started I started making my own cake boards.
Oh, wow.
So I would actually go to Mbare. There are these guys in Mbare that now knew me. I would buy the boxes, the material. I would go home, sit down, measure my boards. and I would start cutting my own boards, covering them in the foil and everything.
Wow.
And that also then turned itself into a side hustle because there's now a lady in Belvedere who I was actually supplying
And you know,
with cake boards.
I'm loving this conversation because Mr. C, so we had Mr. Chihuri, Moses Chihuri, come through in the last podcast, and we were saying, Rumbi, you can literally do anything and you don't need much. You need to be able to source the raw materials. And now I'm seeing already you had a side hustle that gave birth to another side
Yeah.
hustle. So now you're growing, you're running two enterprises that are interconnected. Tell me, I'm getting excited. Tell
But
me
I
more.
was,
What
to
happened?
be honest, I only did that because I was trying to just, get enough funds to sort of grow bigger because I wanted to do the bigger cakes. I wanted to, do things like that. So the cake board business didn't last too long. I think I only did it for about a year, roughly.
A year is a long time. That's
So,
365 days of
so I
making
did
money
it
every
for
day.
about a year. And to be honest, the lady in Belvedere was my only customer, but she used to buy like bulk.
Wow.
So she used to buy a lot of bulk. And then I was also saving money from having to buy my own boards. But as I got busier, I didn't have the time to keep doing the boards. So I got my own supplier then. But at least the money I got from making those boards helped to grow my cake business as well.
Wow.
And now I was working and running the cake business at the same time. I was working full time. So, after work, I'm going home, I'm doing these cakes. But after about 2 years, I then managed to move out. And when I moved out, I had at least bought my own little 4-plate gas stove now.
Wow.
I had new tins. So I was able to do more now, which was a good thing. From the $20 and using my grandmother's
Okay.
my
So
grandmother's kitchen and equipment.
at this point, I just want to quickly ask you if you remember, not exact figures, but from $20 in the first year, how much were you able to generate from the business? Just a ballpark figure, nothing
Wow.
exact.
I can't really remember. But it
What were
wasn't
you able
it
to do?
wasn't really a lot. It was probably about 600-700 because remember
That's a
I had a
lot.
full-time job.
Yes.
So maybe in a day I could only do like 2 or so cakes because I was literally working 9-10 hour shifts. And sometimes what I'll do is if I knew that I had a few cakes at home, I would actually ask my bosses if I could go to work at 2 a.m. So I'd go to work 2 a.m., do all the production so that I can leave maybe at about 10 a.m.
Yes.
So I could go home and do my own thing.
What time were you sleeping?
So
were you even sleeping at this
I was
point?
sleeping, but when you're young, you've got energy. But as you grow older, you have to find easier ways to do
Of
things.
doing things.
So now I had moved out. I was living on my own. And then I just decided to take the plunge and quit my job.
Okay. Wow.
I just pushed myself into the deep end. And I was
Okay.
like, look,
Were you not afraid?
I was very afraid because at my former job, I remember they were expanding. And
There
I
was
asked
job
them,
security.
I asked them and I said, okay, look, you're opening up a new branch. Please, can I go and head that branch? I know I'm still tiny, I'm everything, but can I go and head that kitchen? Because I want to see what it's like to start a business from the bottom up. Yes, I had my side hustle, but I just needed more
That
insight.
experience.
Thank God they agreed.
Wow.
So I moved to the new branch and I literally watched it from getting the new chairs, getting equipment in the kitchen, the stoves and everything being installed. I watched all of that. And then I started working there. So after that, that's when I was just like, you know what? These guys are cashing in like $5,000 a day. So how's about I leave? I mean, not that I'll be making $5,000 a day from home,
Right.
but I can make something. It was really, really hard when I quit my job. And the first 2 years, I'm not even going to try and lie and say, oh my goodness, I was successful. And it was
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
It was really, really hard to the extent where I had to put my tail between my legs and say to my grandmother, please, can I come back home for
Okay,
a
I
little
was going to
bit?
ask you at what point did you move back in?
So I moved back home. And my grandmother was happy. She's like, yeah, no, come back, come back. And my grandfather. So I moved back with my grandparents because I grew up with my grandparents. So I moved back home. Um, and it was hard again because now you're back in someone else's space. And now I'm back now. Ne ma stove angu, ne ma pan angu, and my
Yes.
tables and everything. And then I had said to them, no, it'll only be for like 2 months.
2 months turned into how many
Unfortunately,
months?
then my grandfather passed away in those 2 months. So I couldn't leave my grandmother by herself. So I had to
Yes.
stay there. But it was still okay. I made it work. I started growing from there. I just said, you know what, God, maybe this is just to give me more time.
Yes.
After about a year and a half, I then got married and then I moved out. But I will not lie, being an entrepreneur anywhere in the world, not only in Zim, you have to have the push and the drive to do it. And when they say love what you do, they are not lying. You need to love what you are doing. You need to know what you are doing, and you need to find easier ways so that, you asked me before, when were you sleeping? Things like sleep are necessary. If you have a family, it's necessary, to take time out with your family. So you have to find easier ways to run your business, of doing things. So, for example, let's say you're making enough to afford an accountant, hire that accountant. If I'll give an example in the food industry. We've got people that make things like pastry and stuff like that. So if you look at me, if I'm going to make pies at home, I'm not going to spend 2 days trying to make pastry. I'm going to go to someone who I trust, get that pastry, make my signature filling, and I've got my pies. So in entrepreneurship, you need to find ways. Yes, you want every single cent that's out there, but you have to find ways to make life easier for you, because it's so easy. Like in the cake industry, we've had cake artists that have died because of work. Things like there's something called, it's going to sound weird, it's called flour lung, where
Flour
you can
lungs.
actually, your lungs can get affected by the flour that you use. So
Okay.
you're sifting flour all the time, all that
Oh,
flour,
you're
you're
inhaling
breathing,
the
you're inhaling
dust.
it. Some people don't even know that sometimes you should wear a mask and things like that. We've lost cake artists because of things like that. We've lost cake artists because of things like stress or fatigue. We've had young cake artists have heart attacks.
This is interesting.
It's so, as an entrepreneur, you need to find better ways and mechanisms to make your business move and to make money.
I got goosebumps and you got me hooked the moment you said you have to love what you
You
do.
have to love what you do.
And when I was looking at you as you're saying that, there was a certain glitter to your eyes, like, I love what I do. And I wish when people look at me, they also see that same, feeling and that connection. So you love what you do. You went ahead, you started your business. It wasn't easy. And here you are today. In each of our journeys, there is a certain memorable moment that we can't get out of our heads. What's your most memorable moment as an entrepreneur in the food business industry?
I think one of them was being recognized enough to take part in a competition that was called Battle of the Chefs.
With Joseph Bunga.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I
I would
think
watch that one all the time.
I think that was the highlight of me being an entrepreneur, because somehow they found me, somehow. And then I went for auditions. I passed the auditions. Auditions were not actually easy. We were told, it's going to sound so silly. The audition was, I don't know, there was some dish we had to make. And then we had to make a poached egg. Do you know that cooking the perfect egg is one of the hardest things to do in a kitchen?
Zai.
Zai. And it sounds so silly.
What do you mean,
So
Zaira
I
Kaoma
remember
Kupika,
my
chef?
audition was I had to do a poached egg. And it has to be perfect. And I'm telling you, making the perfect egg, even a boiled egg, making the perfect boiled egg in our industry that is up to proper standards is something that is actually quite tricky. It sounds so silly, doesn't it?
Zai.
Zai,
Zai. An
yes,
egg.
an egg. So
And I've been telling myself I know how to make the perfect scrambled egg.
So it is. It sounds so silly, but I remember I did that and I managed to make it through to the next round, and I was on the competition.
Wow.
So, as an entrepreneur, that was the highlight of of my chefing career. That was really my highlight. I didn't win, but I made it to the semifinals, and yeah, Battle of the Chefs is definitely my highlight.
Wow.
Definitely, working with the Bunga family was amazing because Battle of the Chefs opened up doors I never knew could actually open up. It really did. It even opened up. I even then entered another competition at the British Embassy, even
Oh, wow.
when they were doing some celebrations there and they had a competition. I never thought I would ever step foot in the British Embassy,
But you did
but I did.
because of food.
And even that opened up other doors because I got other customers from things like that. So that's definitely my most memorable experience in being an entrepreneur.
Right. Now, you talked about doors opening, you talked about networks you've created, and the last one that I'm going to ask you as we're concluding this discussion is how important is your network as an entrepreneur?
You have to know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. Okay, no, to be serious, it's really important to have a solid network. There's a gentleman I've been listening to on radio, and he's been talking about making a spider web, making a spider web of of a network. So, I was telling you a bit earlier off air that I don't go out that much, pretty much at home with my son, but I'm on my phone a lot.
Yes.
I'm talking to people a lot. So when people talk about networking, they think it's only face to face, but it's not only face to face. Online, you can actually meet a lot of opportunities, a lot of people, and things like that. So your network is really important. You need to talk to people. You need to get your business out there, whether it's posting on different social media platforms. And when you're posting, tag people so it appears on their social media platforms. That way, they are getting, their people are now seeing you as well. And that is how you can actually grow. Don't be afraid to grow.
Don't be
Don't
afraid
be
to grow.
afraid to grow. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there because the worst that can happen is you'll fail.
And you start over
Literally, and
again.
you start over. But you're not going to know whether or not you're going to fail if you don't try. So get those networks going. Don't be afraid to post. I'm really bad with social media, but I make it a point that at least twice a week I'm posting. Post on your status every day if you can, even if it's just a picture with no caption, with just hashtags. Post that. And like I said, tag people so people can repost your stuff. Just don't be afraid to go out there. Get that spider web network going. If you're invited somewhere you can't go, if you can give someone your product to take for you, let them take your product. I'm unfortunately not one that believes in flyers. I know a lot of people are going to shoot me for that. I don't believe in handing out physical flyers because I'm also one of those, I don't read them. At traffic lights, I'll take it
And
just
put it
because
aside.
someone is standing there and is being
You're
paid
being
for it.
polite.
I'm being polite. Do I look at it? Never.
No.
A flyer will be put on my car. I never look at it. So I'm one who just doesn't, I'm not saying they do not work, But what I'm saying is a lot of people are now on the internet. So let's use that internet. If you can, I mean, these days, a lot of people are saying they'll do websites for like $20, $25 or something like that. Web hosting for like $5. Use those people. Sacrifice that $5 and use it because you don't know where it's going to get you. Get your network going. Know someone who knows someone who knows someone.
Ah, like we know each other.
Like I know you. And I've known you for quite a while now.
It's been years.
It's been years.
And one of
So
the things that I want to be honest with is that in my network, if somebody asks, I'll tell them, you want a Christmas cake? Talk to Chef Chenge. And she
Thank
does the
you.
trick. So I want to prepare my own dish today. I'm going to boil an egg. And I want to make the perfect boiled egg. I want to tag you on social media. How do I tag you?
on Instagram, I'm Rosalind ZW. And then on TikTok and Facebook, it's Chef Chenge. I failed to put Chef Chenge on Instagram. Someone else already has it. So
Ah, interesting. So we are going to be connecting with you. We are going to follow through your journey. We are going to be looking at some of the aesthetics. You have beautiful aesthetics on your social media platforms.
Thank you.
And I'm just going to make sure that we also connect into that. And those that want to be inspired to become entrepreneurs in the food industry will probably be reaching out to you. So they want you to be part of their network. But we want to thank you so much for coming through and just sharing your personal journey.
thank you so much for having me. And yes, if you inbox me, I will respond. Don't worry, I actually will respond.
She's got a record for responding.
I will actually respond if you do inbox me, or if you need to be linked to someone else who can maybe give you better help than I can. I will actually not hesitate.
Thank you so much, Chef Chinge, for coming
Thank
through on
you.
Pivot Point. And we want to say Pivot Point is here to make sure that we link you up and connect you to people who know somebody, who knows somebody, who knows somebody that you need. Pivot and out.